Hey guys, what's up? It's Lainey, and today, if you can't tell by the title of the video, is Smutathon. Smutathon is back. If you don't know what Smutathon is, it's an adult romance readathon that I host with one of my best friends, Riley from Riley Marie. We are bringing in the new year with as much smut as you possibly can. This round of Smutathon is going to be running from January 4th to January 11th, and we have a mini bingo card. Again, we're really loving this Gatsby aesthetic, if we're being completely honest, so we're really excited for this round. We have 9 category challenges for this round. Sometimes books don't fit into whatever category. It's just reading as much smut as you can. That's the goal of this readathon. So I'm going to break down all 9 of the categories and give my own recommendations for it, because you can never have too many smutty recommendations in my opinion. So our first trope is enemies to lovers. This is an oldie and a goodie. I think we've had this on our challenges list all of the Smutathons that we've done. The book that I'm going to recommend for this is going to be Vicious by L.J. Shen. It was kind of like a dual timeline. You'd see what the characters were like when they were in high school, and then what they were like now in the current modern period. I think they're like in their mid-20s. For the second square is going to be a 2019 release. Since we're starting Smutathon like 4 days into 2020. It's gonna be pretty impossible to find a 2020 release, so we decided to do a 2019 release, and this can be any book that was published in 2019. I'm gonna recommend another LJ Shen book because this is what happened. I binged LJ Shen a lot last year because I read Vicious, and then I'm like, wow, I need to read a lot more of her books, because I previously had read one of her books a few years ago and I didn't like it at all, so it kind of put me off of her. But then I read Vicious, and that like opened the floodgate of finding all of her really good books that I really enjoyed. The next one that I'm going to recommend is Pretty Reckless. This was by far my favorite LJ Shen book that I read last year, and I read I think maybe 5 or 6, and this one was heads above all the rest of them in my opinion. It was my favorite. I guess this one could also fit for enemies to lovers too. Basically, she just really writes good enemies to lovers. What I loved most about this book was the female main character. Like, she was such a bitch and she was kind of an awful person, but like I loved it. If you like the Catherines, the Rebeccas, she's not a bitch, she's just misunderstood, then I would really recommend this book. It was really good. Kind of has a step brother, step sibling, but not really. It's more of like a foster brother and sister kind of trope going in there. I will also mention that this is also a spin-off series to the Vicious series. I'm personally probably not going to read the rest of the Vicious series. Basically, the Pretty Reckless books and those companions are the spin-off of the Vicious ones. I forget the series titles names, but basically it's all their kids. So the couples, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but the couples, their children are all in the spin-off series. So that is what that is. For the LGBTQ square, I'm going to recommend Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This is the second book in the Wicked Villain series, Desperate Measures with the Jasmine and Jafar. This one is a Hades, Hercules, and Meg book. So it involves all 3 of them. They're all pretty sexually fluid. I really liked that. Hades and Meg own this sex club in this fictional modern city. They kind of trick Hercules into making a deal with Hades, and just kind of goes from there. For a new to you author, I wanted to recommend Alexis Daria. I read Take the Lead for the last Smutathon that we did, and I love that book, but I'm also really trash for reality TV, and this book is kind of based off Dancing with the Stars, and I just love the chemistry between the 2 characters, and they were partners, and it just shows a really great behind the scenes look of reality shows. I want to read more books like that. I need to try to find a list. I definitely need to find more books that have like reality TV involved in the plot, whether that be like a rom-com or maybe something darker. If you don't know, I am like the dark romance junkie. That's my favorite subgenre, but I don't think I would find any reality TV show dark romances, but hey, you never know. For the next square is Out of Your Comfort Zone. I'm going to recommend a dark romance because that is my shit, and I'm going to recommend Bad Saint by Monica James. I'm currently in the process of reading the second book in the series, and this is a trilogy with all the same characters. This could also fit for enemies to lovers. It could fit for a whole bunch, because basically what happens is that this girl gets kidnapped, and on their way to Russia, they're on a boat, they get shipwrecked, so she has to like try to survive on an island with someone who kidnapped her. But I also have a second one to recommend that's not dark romance, but I feel like I wanted to recommend it anyway, and that is the Planet Barbarian series by Ruby Dixon. So I've read like 10 of these books over the course of like a year now, maybe a little bit more than a year. They're so much fun. If you don't know what it's about, it's alien smut. I recommend listening to the audiobooks because the male narrator is chef's kiss. The next square is Forbidden Romance, and I can't not recommend one of my fave romance author, Skye Warren. I'm going to recommend Overture. This is an age gap romance between kind of like her guardian but once she turns 18, there's no more rules. The next square is workplace romance. I thought this was gonna be an easy one for me to write down, but I realized I don't read a lot of workplace romances. Like, no, I have not read The Hating Game. I probably won't, to be honest, because I don't even know, I'm not interested in it. I have an unconventional workplace romance, and that is going to be another book by L.J. Shen that I read, and that is Midnight Blue. Basically, picture Bradley Cooper's character in A Star is Born, and then the female main character was hired to basically be his like sober assistant. There's just something so endearing that I loved about this book. It was my second favorite L.J. Shen book that I read. I don't usually like books with like music in it, so to speak, like musicians, but I really liked this one and I definitely recommend it. There was a lot of cute moments. I was into it. The next square is a recommended to you book. This whole video has been recommendations, so have at it. And the last one is A Fake Relationship. I'm going to recommend The Wild Heir by Karina Holly. This is part of her Royals series. This one's technically the second one in the series, but you can read these all as standalones. I read the second book, then I read the first book, and this one features a fake relationship, a fake engagement, marriage, to repair a wild prince's reputation. But those are all of the categories we have for Smutathon this round. Remember, it is January 4th through the 11th, and don't forget to use the hashtag Smutathon. Smutathon is all over social media, Twitter, Instagram specifically. We're the most active on there. We have a Twitter account at Smutathon. That's it for me for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you guys are excited for Smutathon. If you don't know, my name is Lainey and I make videos about books and writing, so if that interests you, you should definitely subscribe down below, and I will see you guys all very soon. Bye!